So welcome everyone for my today's session on, this is the second session in this conference I'm giving today. So yeah, thanks guys for getting me on board. So thank you Microsoft 365 Live first to, getting me on board and delivering this session. And today I'll be delivering this second session of mine in this conference, which is based on button bookmark tricks in Power BI to enrich reports. Now, before I start the session or say anything further, I would just like to thank all the sponsors without whom, this conference would have not been possible. So thank you to the sponsors. And before going further, what we're going to cover in the session, I'll just like to give a little introduction about myself. So those who don't know me, my name is Pragati Jain. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP. I'm also one of the super user at Microsoft Power BI community. So if any of you guys who are, active at Microsoft Power BI community, you'll see me there, very much engaged and helping others in, answering queries related to Power BI. I've got nearly 10 plus years of industry experience. And in my early career years, I have worked as a database developer. But then after a few years, I just moved on to pursue my master's in data science and analytics. And then from last few years, I'm working into data analytics industry. And currently I'm working as a senior data analyst at Trustpilot here in London. One fun fact about me is like I'm a painter as well. So I just like to proudly call myself a techie artist. Okay, so that's my introduction. So before I start the session, I'll just like to give you an overview around what all topics I'll be covering in today's session and what kind of tips and tricks I'll show you around buttons and bookmarks in Power BI. So I have basically laid out an agenda for today's session. So first thing, this is a one slide all demo session. So I just have this slide with my session and all of the things I'll be showing you today will be directly in Power BI desktop. So today I'll be covering few tips and tricks which I have used in most of the reports I've worked on with Power BI, and that, pretty well go on the reports when, users really need some kind of interactiveness to be added to the reports. So I'll be covering certain scenarios. So I'll start with, just showing you how we can use button and bookmark in the following scenarios. So the first one will be toggling between charts. Second one, we'll see how we can use images as buttons and bookmarks. Third one will be how we can create a simple page navigation on a report using buttons. The fourth scenario will be how we can use GIF in the buttons. Then further down, I'll show you how you can use a drill through button in Power BI to add more granularity to your data. Then further down, I'll show you a simple bookmark slideshow feature, which can be, sometimes really helpful, especially for a Power BI report developer. And in the end, if time permits, I like to show the new functionality in Power BI, which came a few months back, which is on modern visual tooltips. So without waiting any further, let's just get started. Okay, so sorry about my windows. So this is my Power BI file. And this is basically a Power BI desktop file. So Power BI desktop is basically a free tool which anyone can download easily on a Windows machine and then just get started. Now for today's session, I'll be using a simple data set. So what I have done is I have got the most famous AdventureWorks database, which is, freely available by Microsoft. And it's a SQL Server based database. And what I did was I just got two tables from that database in my Power BI. I'll just show you quickly what this data is about. So the first table, which is product. So this table has got information regarding the product. So like, for example, you can see product name is there, product ID is there, product number is there, then what is the color of the product. So you can see different kind of characteristics of the product, along with what's the cost in different ways assigned to this product, and even the size. And further down, you can see few more metrics like the weight, class, style, and so on. Then the second data set, what I have got is more around a transactional data for these products. So against every product, you can see some transactions, and you can see the actual cost against that transaction. So basically transactional value and the transaction date as well. And even the quantity, like how many products were bought at what price. So that's basically a transactional kind of data against those products. And in addition, I've also got a weather data, and this is like a freely available weather data, which I just picked up from Google Dataset repository. And it just tells us some information regarding maximum minimum temperature by date, average temperature, snowfall, snow depth, and precipitation. So I've just used a different data set because I want to show you some GIF usage with buttons in Power BI. So I'll not be going much into details into the data because the data will just help me in replicating the tips and tricks I want to show. And in the end, what I'll do is I can share this Power BI file with the organizer. So if any one of you guys want to play around with it, you can use it or you can further refer it as well. OK, so yeah, let's start. So before starting, first thing, what buttons and bookmarks is. Now, for me, bookmarks are, I mean, if you want to relate bookmarks from a real world example, the best example what I give always is consider bookmarks the way you create a bookmark when you read a book. So for example, you're reading a book. Today you finished first 100 pages. And tomorrow you want to pick it up from 101st page, right? So what you'll do is you'll add a bookmark somewhere on your 100th page or on your 101st page so that tomorrow you know, okay, you need to pick up or start reading, continuing your book from 101st page, right? So in that way, bookmarks have somehow retained the state of your book, right? How much you have finished. So if you think of bookmarks in the same terms here in Power BI, bookmarks can be used to retain the state of visuals on a report page. OK, so that's what a bookmark does. And to activate the bookmarks, we use buttons. So how buttons work is buttons. You can just, think of buttons as a physical entity on the report. Clicking on them, which just activates a bookmark and does the underlying process. So buttons are just a way of using bookmarks. I mean, they help us in using a bookmark by assigning an action to them. So that's how we use buttons and bookmarks in together on a Power BI report to add that level of different, interaction for users. So let's start with the first scenario. So I'll be basically, just switching between my slides and this Power BI file because I just want to make sure I'm covering every scenario that I have, shown on the deck. So the first thing, let's start with how we can toggle between charts. OK, so before I build this functionality in front of you, I'll just quickly show you what I'm trying to replicate. So I've got a ready file, what I'll be replicating today. So for example, in this file, I've got a button like top 5 products trend. Suppose if I click on it, my bottom chart changes and shows me a line chart, which kind of shows me the total cost over time for my top 5 products. And suppose if I click on this product details button, it shows me the product details. So it's like a summary kind of information I can see against every product. So this is the kind of functionality I'll show you how you can do it in Power BI. So let's just get starting. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just create 2 charts because obviously we want to toggle or switch between charts. So we need at least 2 charts to create that functionality. Even you can create multiple charts and create toggle functionality. But for the sake of this session, I'll just use 2 charts. So what I'll do is I'll just create a simple line chart. And on this line chart, what I'll do is I'll just get some date field. So let's get some transactional date. I'll keep my date granularity to month and year. And what I'll do is I'll represent the total cost, transactional cost of the products. And yeah, I want to show it for the product. So what I'll do in the legend, I'll move my product name column. So that's something called name in the data. OK, so I get basically, cost over month. Cost trend for different products. But what I want to do is, let me just remove this blank product. OK, now what I want is, now this chart looks a little messy, right? Because I've got too much or too many lines on that. So what I'll do, I'll just limit my chart to show, only top 5 products based on the total cost. So what I'll do is I'll just apply a visual level filter here on my product column. And what I'll do is I'll just go to top N and I'll just select top 5. And I want to select top 5 by maybe quantity, or we can do it on the total cost, actually, what we are trying to represent. So I'll just move the actual cost here. I'll just apply filter. So now my chart just shows me top 5 products trend over time. OK, so that's the first chart we have got. Okay, first information that we have got on the chart. And I'll just give this like proper labeling and everything. So that's fine. Oh yeah, we can actually change the title. So we know what the information is represented. So this is basically total cost trend for top 5 products. Okay, so that's the title for the chart. Now let's create another chart because obviously we need 2 charts. So what I'll do, I'll just create a simple table. So let's create a summary table. I'm just copying this chart and I'll convert it to table. So I just do a Control C and Control V simply as we used on a Windows machine. I'll just convert it to tabular chart. And what I'll do, I'll just enter a few more stuff in it. And what I'll do, I'll just make this as a date and I'll just add few more elements to it. So like, for example, product name goes here. I'll add actual cost. I can add total quantity. Then we've got other measures like, we can add something like the total list price and so on, right? And days to manufacture. You can add color. So you can add different level of information here, okay? And what I'll do is I'll also remove top 5 from this chart. So I get to see all the products, okay? So I'll just clear this. So I see many products and I'll just remove the blank products. Somehow my data is not clean, so I'll just put that level of filter here. Okay, so yeah, I have got my 2 charts. Okay, now somehow what I want is I want to create a toggle between these 2 charts, right? And I'll just give a title to it. Sorry, guys. So what title we'll give to it is just something like product summary, right? So that's a product summary chart. Okay. Now comes the main task. I mean, creating the charts was the easiest part here. Now let's just create 2 buttons somehow, which we can link to a bookmark action and toggle between the charts, what functionality I just showed you before starting this. So what I'll do is we'll go to insert and I'll create 2 buttons. OK, I'm just going with the normal blank button, but yeah, you can create other ones or you can even use shapes as buttons if you want. OK, I'm going here with the blank button. I'll take the button. I'll just make it a little bigger. Now my one button will be for top 5 products trend and the other button will be for product summary. So I'll go to buttons, click on the button, go to format, and I'll add this button text here. So this could be something like top 5 products trend. OK, so that's the button text. You can change the formatting as well. I mean, you can give different kinds of formatting option here to the buttons the way you want them. Even the font color, we can make it white. And suppose if I don't want outline, I can remove the outline. But yeah, I like to give some outline so that, I know these are the buttons, right? And even I can give them a boundary. So for example, if I want to give them a curved boundary, so I can add some radius here for them. So I've got a curved thing. Now, in this case, I've got double boundary. So what I can do, I can just switch off my outline. So I get something like this. OK, so yeah, you have multiple options on buttons and you can play around with them. You can give them different colors as well if required. So OK, so that's the first button we have created. Now we need one more button, right? So what I'll do, I'll just copy paste this and just make few changes to it. The reason I'm doing that so that, if you have got different kind of formatting options on the button and you want to give same formatting options to all the buttons on that report page, that it's easier to copy and paste them rather than, just making or, missing few of the changes you have done. So what I'll do, I'll just change the title for this first. Oh, sorry, button text for this. So this will be my product summary. So that's my title. OK, and yeah, one more thing we can do. I mean, if you want, so for example, you can give different colors to your button. So for example, my default state should be black because my page background is black. Now, suppose if I want to give something like, when I hover over it, it should change to a color like red. So for example, if I hover over my button, it just changes to red. And now suppose if I want to give something else, let's just go with this. When I click on it, it should give me maybe yellow color. So I'll show you how this works. When I hover over it, it gives me red. When I click it, it gives me yellow. Okay, so that's how you can give, different colors to your buttons, or for the default, what you can do, you can give it some other color. Let's go with blue. Let's give it a blue color. So that's the default color on your button. When you hover over it, it changes to red. When you click it, it gives you yellow. So that's the kind of, different formatting options you can play around with button. Let's give the same to this as well. So, our buttons look uniform. Otherwise, the buttons look very different, right? So let's just do it that way. And I'll just do it on press as well. So yeah. So this is the actual color. When I hover over it, it is red. When I click on it, it is yellow. Now when I'm clicking on the button, nothing is happening because I haven't defined any action to the button. So it's kind of not working. Now to define an action to a button, you need something to build. So in this case, we'll be doing some bookmarks. OK, so for opening the bookmarks pane, go to view and open bookmarks. And along with the bookmarks, we'll be using something called selection in Power BI. Now, what selection pane does in Power BI is using this, you can actually hide and hide a visual. So for example, if I click on this eye icon against my total cost trend for top 5 products chart, it hides my visual. And if I click on that eye again, it shows my visual or unhides my visual. So that's how we'll achieve the functionality what we just saw in the other report, like click on a button, one chart shows, but the other is hidden. Click on the button, the other chart shows, but the first one is hidden. So that's how we'll try to do it. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create a bookmark. For creating a bookmark, click on the add button. Now, when you click on the add, Power BI by default gives it a name. First thing, rule of thumb, give your bookmarks proper naming. That's the first thing you should always do. So what we'll do, we'll click on these 3 dots and we'll rename the bookmark. Now the first bookmark what I'm creating is for top 5 products trend. So I'll just give it same name, but yeah, naming is something you can, just give whatever you like, but just that they should make sense, right? So that's my first bookmark, which I'll try to link with this button. Now what I want in this bookmark is I want to hide this chart. And I want to hide this button as well. OK, the reason is when I click on this bookmark, it should show me this chart, but it should show me the button that will allow me to go to the other chart. Right. So that's why we are hiding the other button. So what I'll do is on my top 5 trends, I want to hide my product summary and hide my top 5 products button. OK, and once you're happy with what your bookmark should do, you just update it. OK, now once you updated, your bookmark will work. So for example, if I unhide these and now if I click on my bookmark, it hides the product summary chart, shows the total cost trend for top 5 products, because obviously when I'm clicking on the top 5 products trend button, it should show me the chart with top 5 products cost trend, right? And along with a button to go back to the other chart. So that's what it is doing. So perfect. We have created the first bookmark. Now we need another bookmark, right, for this button as well. So what I'll do, I'll again do the same steps, go to add. First thing, as I said, we'll rename the bookmark, give them proper renaming. So we go to rename and what I'll do is I'll just give it product summary. So that's the naming. Now in product summary, I want to hide my top 5 products cost trend chart and I want to hide the product summary, right? Button so that I have an option to go back to the other chart with this button. So that's what I want with the product summary. So what I'll do, I'll just click on these 3 dots against this button and update it. Now let's just test them. So when I click on top 5 products trend, it shows me my top 5 products cost trend chart along with product summary button. When I click on product summary, it shows me product summary chart and my top 5 products trend button so that I can go back to the other chart. OK, we have done 80% of job. Now just 20% is remaining. So the 20% job is to assign these bookmarks as an action to these buttons so that we can click on the buttons to get these jobs done rather than clicking on the bookmarks. So for that, what we'll do is I'll just minimize these panes. OK, you can open them, expand them again. OK, so for that, what we'll do is we'll click on the buttons and go to format button option. Now under format button option, there's something called action. So basically you can give and or assign an action to a button. Okay, so like what you want that button to do, that's basically your action. So we just switch that on. Once we switch that on and expand this option, you can see the type of actions you can give to a button. So like if you again expand this drop down, you can give a back action to a button, a bookmark action to a button, a drill through action, page navigation, Q&A, and web URL. So I'll be discussing others in this session, but for now we want to give them an action type as bookmark. So I'll select bookmark. Now which bookmark? Now top 5 products trend should show me the result from top 5 products trend bookmark, right? So what I'll do is I'll just select my bookmark here, which is top 5 products trend. Now you can give a tooltip to your bookmark. So for example, something like click here to view top 5 products cost trend, right? So that's my bookmark. I'll just copy, that's my tooltip. I'll just copy it so I can reuse it. And suppose if you don't want to give tooltip, you can just switch that off. Okay. But I want to give tooltip because sometimes I feel tooltips can be really a good way of, explaining users what this button is doing, especially, when they're trying to use the report for the first time or trying to interact it for the first time. So I prefer using tooltips on the buttons. So that's what we have done for this button. Let's do the same thing for this product summary button. So I click on product summary. I enable the action, select the type of action as bookmark, and my bookmark will be product summary, and I'll give it a tooltip. Click here to view product summary. Okay. So that's done. So we have added actions to our buttons. Now let's see what's happening. Now hover over the button. It shows me the tooltip I created. Click here to view top 5 products cost trend, right? Now, if I click on it, okay, now in Power BI desktop, when you're building the reports, the buttons can be used by using control key and click, okay? But once these reports are published on Power BI service, they give you exact interaction as you have on a website with the button. So you can just use a simple click to activate these buttons. You don't need a control click when you're interacting with the reports in Power BI service, but in Power BI desktop, you use a control click. So now when I click on this button, I clicked on it. It showed me the chart for total cost trend for top 5 products. So that's what it should work, right? Now let's do the other button. Hover over it, it shows us the tooltip. Click here to view product summary. And once I click on it, it shows me the other chart and a button to go back to the previous chart. So that's what we have, implemented this toggle functionality. Now, the only thing remaining is just placing these charts in the right way on the report. So what I'll do, I'll just, unhide everything here. OK, so I know where the things are. And what I'll do is I'll just lay these charts on top of each other. Now, one thing, when you have multiple charts and you're trying to create this toggle kind of functionality, make sure the size of the charts is same. The reason is because you're trying to, lay over these charts on top of each other. If their size is not same, so when you're toggling between them, it will not give a good uniformity on the reports from, layout point of view. So always make sure the size of your all charts are same. So what I'll do, I'll just lay it over on top of each other. And what I also want, I'll also lay my buttons on top of each other. Let's just do one more thing. Let's put them on the center of the page. Right, and I'll just move it. Oh, no, it's not on the center. This is on the center. So I'll just move the other one as well on the same position. OK, and I'll just, put the buttons even on top of each other. OK, so now they look right. Now, suppose if I click on product summary, it shows me product summary chart and a button that will take me to top 5 products trend chart. If I click on it, it will show me the top 5 products cost trend chart along with a button to take me back to product summary chart, right? So this is basically, a simple toggle functionality, which can really help you in many ways on the report. So like, for example, one of the case based on my experiences, especially when you have so many charts on a single report page and the client or your customer just asks with a has a requirement, something like you have to fit multiple charts in a single space of chart, right? So in those cases, you can actually use these toggle functionality. So you are basically try to represent multiple information, but the space taken by the chart is just for the space taken by a single chart. So there, this toggle functionality can really help. Okay, now the next thing what I'll show you is how we can use images as buttons or bookmarks. Okay, so I'll be showing you something like this. So for example, if on a page, I've got multiple charts, okay, different kind of information. Now, suppose I want to see the information as a line chart. So I click on it and it shows me information as a line chart. If I click on the bar chart, it shows me information as a bar chart. If I click on pie chart, it shows me information as a pie chart, then so on, waterfall chart. So what I'll do, I'll just try to show you how we can do this, okay? So for that, I'll just add a new tab. Or I'll just, I'll just add a new tab, that's fine. So this is my new tab and I'll just try to replicate the similar functionality using 3 images, okay? So for that, we'll need 3 charts, okay? So the first chart will be my bar chart. Okay, and here what I'll do, I'll just try to represent some trend information. So I'll again take the transaction date. I'll keep it at month year granularity. I'll take the quantity of products over time. I'll take it down to month year level. Then what else I can represent? I can add a legend to it. So like my products. So for example, name of the products. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll again limit it to top 5 products. So, you know, we can see the information clearly, or maybe top 10 products. Okay. And again, I'll do the top 10 by quantity and apply filter. OK, top 10 is still too vague. Let's go to top 5. OK, that is still OK. I think there's one blank thing going on, so I'll just remove my blank from the values because it's just, you know, dominating my data. OK, so this is basically, for the top 5 products, quantity over time trend. OK, that's what we have got. I'll just give it a title as well. So it's easy quantity by trend, right, for top 5 products. Now, similarly, I'll create a line chart. So I'll just copy this chart and I'll just try to, you know, convert the same chart to line chart. So it shows me quantity by trend for top 5 products, and it is just a line chart. Okay, and this could be like a bar chart. Okay, and I'll just give these a little border. Okay, go to format. I'll just give them little border. It just, you know, helps with the chart boundaries. So yeah, I'll just give them little border quickly. OK, so we've got the 2 charts. OK, let's create a third chart. And in third chart, maybe what we'll do is we'll represent some information using pie chart. So what I'll do is I'll just bring in a pie chart and I'll split the pie chart by product information. So what I'll do is I'll bring in my product. I'll again give them top 5. So I just end up with seeing the distribution for top 5 chart based on the quantity and apply it. OK, and again, I'll remove the blank because I know that blank category is quite dominating. OK, and what I'll do is I'll just move the total quantities as the values. So I'll see a split by different products. And just to make sure my charts are of same size, what I can do is I'll just check the size of this chart and make all the 3 charts of the same size. So I'll just check it for this one. So you can check it under general, like width is 623 and height is 281. I think this should be same 623 and 281. I'll just move them on to the left. And I'll go to my pie chart and give it the same size. So it is 623. Oh, did I give a wrong size? Sorry. So I'll just move it here. Okay, I think let me just move it here and I'll give it same size by clicking on this. So yeah, you can just make the size similar. Okay, so if I go and check that, I think it should be of same size, 623 to 81. Okay, so I've got 3 charts. Okay, now I want to bring in my images, right? Because I want to use images in a way to toggle or switch between these charts. So what I'll do is in Power BI, go to Insert and bring in image. Okay, now I have got images saved already for myself. So I'll bring in the bar icon first. Okay, I'll just make it a little smaller. I'll bring in the other image, that is line, right? So that's the second type of chart. And the third type of chart is pie chart. So let's bring in the third image, pie chart. Perfect, we have got 3 images. And what we can do is we can just give them a same size. So for example, I think this size looks fine. And what I can do is I can just go and check it here. And I'll just make the scaling to fit. And the size is 91, 91. Perfect, it's a square. So I'll go to the other image. Give it size 91, 91. Change the scaling to fit. Okay. Right. And the other one is line chart. We'll give it the same size. So, you know, we are just not messing around with the visual way the users are going to look these images. Okay, so we have got the 3 images. Simple. Now we need to add some kind of actions as we did previously, like creating bookmarks and then assigning it to buttons, right? So in the similar way, you can create bookmarks and assign it to your images. Okay, so for that same process, we'll go to our bookmarks pane and open the selection pane as well, right? And what we'll do is we'll create the bookmarks in the similar way to hide the visual and save their state. Okay, so the first thing what I'll do, I'll again add a bookmark. First thing I'll rename it. So the first bookmark I'll be creating is for my line chart. Okay. Now for the line chart, I want to hide my bar chart and pie chart, right? So I'll hide them. Okay. And in this case, I'm keeping all the images unhidden. So I have something there. So I'll just update it at this stage. OK, now I can test it. If I click on line chart, it shows me only line chart and all my 3 images. So that works fine. OK, one thing here, guys, whenever you start creating a bookmark, make sure you are testing them after you're creating them. OK, so don't wait on creating all your 10 bookmarks and then start testing them, because based on my experience, sometimes when you end up with so many bookmarks and if something goes wrong, you know, it takes a lot of time to identify whether things have gone wrong. So as a rule of thumb, just create a bookmark and test it. So just remember that, create and test, create and test. So that will just, you know, save your time in future when you end up with so much bookmarks and if something wrong happens. OK. So similarly, now we create another bookmark for the bar chart. We'll rename it. And for the bar chart, we want to hide the line and pie one and keep all the images. So we just update it. That's updated. Similarly, test it. Line chart shows line chart, bar chart shows bar chart. Perfect. The last one remaining is the pie chart. So we create another bookmark. We'll rename it as pie chart. And for the pie chart, I want to hide bar and line and show pie. So I just update it on that state. Let's just test it. So line chart shows line chart, bar chart shows bar chart, pie chart shows pie chart. Perfect. We have got the bookmarks done. Now the only thing remaining is assigning these images and actions and, you know, laying these charts on top of each other, right? So for this, what we'll do is we'll click on the image, line chart, go to format image. Now under format image, you can assign the action similarly you did for the button. Expand that option, select the type of action, that is bookmark, and select the name of the bookmark. In this case, it is line chart. Perfect. In this case, I'm not giving any tooltips because I think line chart is self-explanatory to show like click on this icon to see a line chart, right? So that's what it is. Similarly, I go to bar chart, enable the action, select the type of action as bookmark, select my bookmark name, which is bar chart, disable the tooltips because I don't want it. Similarly, go to pie chart image, click on it, go to action, enable that, select the type of action, which is bookmark, and select your bookmark name, which is pie chart. And I don't want tooltips, so I'll just switch that off. Cool. Now let's just try using them, right? So I click on line chart, it gives me line chart. I click on bar chart, it gives me bar chart. If I click on pie chart, it gives me pie chart. Perfect. So we have got it working. The last task remaining is, just to lay these on top of each other so, they don't take that much space, right? So for that, what I'll do is I'll just put these charts on top of each other. So I'll just lay them over each other as they're of same size. So that's the perfect thing. Just put it that way, right? And we have got the images. So let's just test them. Line chart shows line chart, bar chart shows bar chart, pie chart shows bar chart. So that's, you can use bookmarks and use those bookmarks with some image icons to give your report some kind of interaction. So that's what we have done here. Now, the next thing what I'll show you is create a simple page navigation on the report. Very easy thing. Let's create a new page. I'll just move this page on the front. And what this page will be, I'll just show you what we are trying to achieve here. So we'll try to create something like a home page, and on the home page, we'll have 2 buttons. OK, and every button will land us or take us to a new page. So for example, if I click on this toggle functionality, it takes me to the page where I can see toggle functionality stuff, right? Click on the different buttons to see the different charts, then click on the back button, which will take me to the home page. And then from home page, I can go to another kind of page, another different report page, which is image functionality for now. I can click on different images, see the stuff, and then go back to my home page. So this is a simple page navigation which can help you in navigating to multiple pages. OK, so let's just quickly try creating it. OK, so let's just rename it. So this is a home page that we are creating. And what I'll do is I'll just create a simple text box here so we know it's a home page. OK, and I'll also give it some kind of coloring as I showed you on the report. It just looks good, right? So this is home page. I'll just make it a little bigger and move it to the center. So that's my home page. Yeah, you can create it how you want it to be, right? So I'm just trying to create a simple banner kind of stuff here. So I'll just click on it. I'll just give it some kind of background color. So it just looks nice. OK, not yellow, but yeah, let's go with some blue. OK, so that's the kind of home page. OK, and now on this home page, I'll create 2 buttons. And on those buttons, I'll just create some kind of page navigation. Now, first thing, for creating page navigations, you don't need bookmarks. Long time ago in Power BI, you actually required bookmarks to create these kind of navigations. But as we know, Power BI keeps on improving so quickly, meaning every month. So these guys have just made the life easier. And now you can create page navigations just by creating buttons. So let's create 2 buttons. So I'll go to insert. Let's use some shapes this time. OK, so I'll use this shape, maybe pill. OK, I'll make it smaller because it is too big for me. And yeah, and we'll just place it somewhere in the center. OK, and what I'll do is I'll click on it, go to format, give it a name first so I can give it a text. So my first text will be, I want to go to toggle functionality. OK, so that's my first button, and I can play around with the formatting options as I already showed you before. So that's the toggle functionality. We can give it a bigger size. 20 looks OK. And yeah, we can give it a different color. Let's go with, let's choose some other color, right? Something like this maybe. OK, and yeah, that looks good. So that's the first button, and what I'll do in the outline as well, I'll give the same color so it looks okay. So that's the first button, right? You can give any, you can play around with formatting options here, guy. If you want to give them a glow, you can give them a glow. So there are so many things you can do with the buttons basically here. So yeah, I mean, just look at many options. There are so many options available. So yeah, that's how you can use them. So yeah, I've just give a basic thing. Now let me create another button. I just copy pasted it so that, you know, my formatting exists. I don't have to recreate the formatting. I'll just go and change the text. In this case, this will be image functionality. OK, so I've got two buttons. Now, the only task remaining is I need to create a page navigation task on these buttons so that they can take me to these pages, individual pages. So what I'll do, I'll click on my button, go to format options. And here we have something like action. Enable that, expand it. Now in Power BI, we already have something like page navigation. OK, so we use that. Now, once you select page navigation, it asks you to use what is the destination for this button action. So when you click on it, where should it take you? So page, and I don't want tooltips. Now let's just test them. If I click on toggle functionality, it takes me to toggle functionality page. I do my stuff, OK, but there's something missing. How do I go back to home page? So there's a simple answer to it. Power BI has given a very easy thing to go back. There's a inbuilt button, which is go back button. Just create that. Your task done. You don't need to do anything. OK, so that's your go button. OK, now if I click on it, it will take me to home page. I don't need to configure it. So this back button by default takes you to the source page from which you landed to a destination. So for example, for this toggle functionality, we are going from home page to toggle page, right? So when I use the back button, it will by default take me to the home page because for this toggle functionality, toggle page, home page was the source. So simple, you don't need to assign anything to that button, right? Simply, if we click on image functionality, it takes us to the image page where, you know, we can interact with different types of charts. But again, we don't have anything to go back. So again, we click on insert and click a back button. That's it. And yeah, you can place the button, you know, wherever you want and however you want to lay them, right? I'm just putting them wherever for anywhere for now. So if I click on it, it will take me to home page. So yeah, that's like a simple page navigation we have built, guys. Click on toggle functionality, takes you to toggle page. Click on back button, takes you back to home page. Then go back to image functionality, do stuff, come back to home page. So that's a simple page navigation. Now, these kind of page navigations where they can be used is, for example, if you have different kind of analysis going on your report, right? And you want user an experience where, you know, they have visibility to different scenarios only through home page. Then you can create these kind of, you know, page navigations on your report. So the user goes to first analysis, sees that, come back to home page, go to a different kind of analysis again, come back to home page. So if you want to give that kind of interaction to the users, then yeah, this page navigation can be really helpful where you have like so many kind of analysis, maybe like 8 to 10 analysis on different report page. So this really helps user like what you're trying to show on the report. So that's why this page navigation can be helpful in certain use cases. OK, so we have done a simple page navigation. Now let's quickly see how, you know, we can use GIFs on buttons. OK, so what I'll do is I'll just create a new page. And what I'm trying to show you is I'll just quickly show it to you. So I've got two GIF. Sorry about them. They are very basic GIF, but yeah, you can bring in amazing GIF images or more interactive. But I just wanted to show you the functionality. So just got the ones which I can get quicker. So for example, when I click on the snowfall GIF, it shows me a chart with some snowfall information. OK, when I click on this thermometer GIF, it shows me the temperature kind of chart. which shows the temperature based information, right? So let's see how we can do this. Now, the first thing what we'll do is we need two charts, right? So let's just create simple charts. And for this, I'll be using this weather data. So what I'll do is I'll just get a chart. And yeah, I'll just move it somewhere here. So I have space to create another chart. So on this chart, what I'll represent is I'll just get some date. And I'll just keep it at month here granularity. I'll put minimum value, minimum temperature. Oh, let's create a line chart maybe. Yeah, let's go with this. So this is like minimum temperature, and suppose if I want average temperature as well. Okay, so that's, or we can move maximum temperature, then minimum temperature. Okay, let's have both. Sorry, I'm so confused. But yeah, so this is the kind of information. So this information is showing some, weather temperature metrics, right? So I'll just rename it to simple temperature trend. Okay, so that's my simple chart, which shows me some trend on temperature. Okay, I'll just give them proper border so I can see it. Now the other chart, what I'll do is I'll just click on it and I'll just copy and paste it. So my size remains same. And the next chart, what I'll create is to get some snow depth over time. Okay, so I'll remove this. I'll change this to normal chart and I'll use some maybe snowfall. Okay, snowfall over time, something like that. Okay. So that's the total snowfall I see over time, and I'll just give it like a title. So this is snowfall trend. Okay, snowfall trend over time. Perfect. So we have got two charts, right? Now we need to get some GIF to toggle between these charts. So for that, what we can do is we'll go to insert. I'll just create a blank button. OK, now the first blank button is this. Now in buttons, when you see the formatting options, there's something called fill. OK, so when you switch that fill on, there you get an option to add an image. OK, now in this image, you can add GIF. So what we'll do is we'll click on add image, and I've already got images saved here. So I'll click the first one as temperature. OK, and what I'll do is I'll just make them fit. So, they fit in the size I want them to be. Right, so that's my temperature, and I'll just remove the outline. I don't need it. So that's my one GIF. OK, similarly, what I'll do, I'll just copy paste the size and bring it down to here. And the other, again, I'll go to fill option. Now, in this case, I want something related to snowfall, right? So I'll check this off, go and add image again, bring in the snowfall GIF. OK, and make it fit. OK, so that's how it looks. Now, these are the two images, two GIF images, and just consider them as buttons because they are buttons, right? We have just added a formatting option to the buttons as a fill to be shown as GIF, right? So now what we'll do is we need some bookmarks, right? Because that toggle functionality is something we'll achieve by bookmarks. So again, we go to bookmark pane and even selection pane. Now let's create a bookmark. Similarly, we did before, add a bookmark. First thing, rename it. So the first one is temperature. Right now on temperature icon, when I click on this GIF, it should only show me temperature trend over time chart, but hide the snowfall trend over time. OK, I'm keeping both the GIFs, so I'm not hiding them. So on the temperature, I just want to hide snowfall, right? So I'll just go and update it. And let's just test it. As we said, create it, test it. That's the rule of thumb we need to follow. Click on the temperature, but bookmark, it shows me temperature trend over time and hides the snowfall trend. Perfect. Let's create another one for the snowfall. So click on add, rename it as snowfall. And for snowfall, we want to hide the temperature one and just show the snowfall one. So we update it. Let's just test it. Temperature shows temperature trend over time. Snowfall shows snowfall trend over time. Perfect. We have got our bookmarks in place. Now let's just assign them to these buttons which have got GIFs, right? So click on the thermometer GIF, go to format. Same thing, go to action. We'll select the type of action, which is a bookmark here. Then we'll select the name of the bookmark. In this, it is temperature. I'm not selecting any tooltips. Similarly, I'll go to snowfall GIF button, enable the action, select the type of action as bookmark, and select the name of the bookmark, which is snowfall, and disable the tooltips. Perfect. Now let's just test it. So click on the thermometer, give me temperature trend over time. Click on the snowfall, give me snowfall trend over time. So yeah, we just achieved the functionality. Let's just lay these charts over each other, so they look better on a page. So if I want to just move it on the middle of the page, I'll put it here and I'll just lay this chart over this, and I'll bring my GIFs here somewhere. Right? Yeah. So now let's test them. Click on thermometer, shows us temperature trend over time. Click on snowfall, gives us snowfall trend over time. So that's how we have used, GIF in the buttons to toggle between the charts. Now let's go to the next step. Okay, so the next thing is I'll show you drill through button usage. Now, what I want to show you in drill through button usage is something like, for example, you have got a summary page. OK, now on this summary page, I've got different kind of information. I've got my date slicer. I've got total products I can see in my data. I've got total product quantity over time. Then I can see a table which gives me like different metrics against product, like product name, quantity, days of manufacture, then standard cost, list price, actual cost, and so on. But I've got a button here, right? Now, but this looks like disabled. It doesn't do anything. Now, to activate this button, you need to select something. Suppose if I select something like chaining here, this button just gets enabled. And if I click on it, it takes me to a detailed view of chain ring product. OK, so the button which we just saw, this is a drill through button in Power BI. OK, let's just see how to create this. So for that, I'll create a new page. And on the new page, I'll just create few charts. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create a simple table. I think I had a table somewhere here. Let me just copy paste that rather than creating it again. So I'll just copy this table and paste it here. Oh, come on. Yeah. So that's the table I've got. OK. Yeah, so that's my product summary table. OK. Now, let me remove the date so I get some product level information. Perfect. So that's the product summary chart. And we can add few more things here, like if you want. So for example, we can add a trend chart. So because we are trying to create a summary page, right? So which shows like some kind of summary information. So let's just have a date here. Quickly, we'll move the date. Oh, sorry, we need to create it as a line chart. So click on the line chart. And again, I'll keep it at a month year level, take it down. OK, I moved something to small multiples. I removed that. OK, so that's a simple trend chart I've created. OK, and I'll just rename it as a summary chart. And yeah, it's a summary chart. Let's create a simple slicer. So, I'm just trying to add different elements like what one can have on a, summary page. So that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, it's a quick thing to do. So that's why I'm just adding it. So it looks like a summary page and how we drill through to a product level information. And similarly, I'll just add a simple card as well, where I move some count of product. Where is my product? Let's count product ID. OK, so this is basically total products I see in the data. And I'll give it a border. OK, that's fine. I'm not just going with the titling and other stuff. Let's just keep it that way. Now this is a kind of summary page. OK, now what I want is from this page, I want to go to a detail level page at a product name level. Now for that, what you do is you create a drill through page in Power BI first thing. OK, so let's create a new page. Now how you create a drill through page in Power BI? There's something called add drill through fields in this section on a page. So as soon as you move something here, let's move product name because we want to create a detailed product level page, right? So I'll move my product name to drill through. OK, as soon as I do that, I get a back button by itself, right? Because there will be a summary page from where I'll be landing to this page at a more granularity for a product. And then I need to go back to that page. So Power BI by default gave me a back button as soon as I added something to drill through page. And I want my drill through page to only work on product name. So I don't want to keep all filters. But suppose if you want your drill through page to work on more than one field, then you can actually enable this. But in my case, no, I just want it at this level. So what I'll do is I'll just add similar kind of information. I'll just copy these two charts, go back here, paste them here. OK, so, you know, I just have some kind of information. So I'll just put them here. OK, and what I'll do is I'll add a card again. And in this card, I'll add the name of the product. So we know like which product information we are seeing here and just give that a little bit of. Yeah, I think that size is fine. Perfect. OK, now this is let's just rename it. It is product detail page. OK, fine. We have got some information at product level, but how we get this drill through working, right? So let's see how we get this drill through working. Similarly, we'll go to insert. We'll create a simple button. Let's go for blank button again this time. And what I'll do is I'll just create a button here and give it a text. OK, and the text for me will be select a product name to drill through the details. OK, that's my simple text. But yeah, you can change the text. OK, and I'll just make it a little bigger so it is visible. That's fine. That looks fine. And yeah, I think it should be OK. Now, when I click on the button and go to action, now there's a type called drill through. As soon as I make this button a drill through, this button gets disabled. The reason why this button gets disabled is like this button can only be enabled when a data point is selected. Now, in our case, we created a drill through page at a product name level, right? So if I select anything on this page, like suppose I select a data point as product name, my button should get enabled, but it's not getting enabled because we missed doing something. So when I click on this button, I mentioned that this button is a drill through type, right? But I never mentioned the destination where this button should take me. So we need to select the destination. And in this case, it is product detail. OK, and I'm not going with any tooltips. Now suppose if I select a product chain ring. Now, if I click on now this button got enabled, right? So now if I click on it, it will take me to the product detail page where it's showing me information related to that product. And if you want more granular information, the best thing you can do is move a date field here. So it will show you every transactional instance for that product, right? So it just gives me a little more detailed information that I'm seeing something at a detail level, right? So that's the detailed information. And if you click on this button, it will take you back to the summary page. So that's basically, you know, how you use a drill through button in Power BI. So click on a product, that's a data point for us, which enables the button. Click on the button, then it will show you information at the product level, which you selected on your summary page. And it gives you information for that product selected. And you can go back to the summary page. So that is how you create a simple drill through functionality in Power BI. Now, OK, we have finished most of it. I'll just quickly show you the bookmark interaction, bookmark slideshow thing, because that's something I really want to show. So in bookmarks, when you open this pane, there's something called view. If you click on this view, an icon, a bar appears at the bottom, and it's like It shows your order in which you created the bookmarks. Okay, so if you go further down, you can see in what order you created your bookmarks, on which pages you created the bookmarks. So this could be a really helpful information, when you end up with multiple bookmarks on your report. And this really helps for a developer to assess like what he has done with the bookmarks on the whole report, right? So this is like a simple slideshow functionality, and you can exit it either from here or from the top as well. So yeah, that's basically, guys, what I wanted to show you in today's session. And yeah, thank you so much for attending my session. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. And before just taking the questions, if you guys want to connect with me on any of the social platform, then I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, and I even have my blog. So drop me a message there if you have got any Power BI related query, any sessions that I've delivered, and if you've got any queries related to it, do get back to me with any feedback or any questions you have. So yeah, happy to take any questions, guys, if there are any questions. Thank you so much.